Hello, everyone, and welcome to Case by Case. My name is Amy, and this is episode one of the in depth story of a girl from Delphi. Ashley Garth, a 31-year-old mother from Delphi, Indiana, will be the focus of this channel series, and her involvement in the murder of Nicole Bowen, the details and the events surrounding that case that I feel have never been told. Throughout this series, my goal is to examine how tragic events, such as what we're going to discuss in this case and several other cases as well, how they can happen, how small communities can become engulfed in a mainstream media frenzy, and opinions, speculation, and misinformation can create such a false narrative that it leaves everyone involved still grasping at straws as to what really happened. That is the purpose of this channel and the information that I have been reviewing now for close to 6 months. I would like to share with you, and together we can see if we can uncover and unravel the events that surrounded all of these tragic events that happened back in 2019. Starting with the tragic murder of Nicole Bowen. Nicole Bowen was 30 years old. She's the mother of two from Kentland, Indiana. Nicole's body was found in a hunting shack on March 30th of 2019 on the property owned by a man named Randy Hall. Nicole's body was found wrapped in a blanket, and inside the blanket was Nicole, who had been bound with duct tape by her hands and her feet. She had a bag placed over her head. Upon detectives uncovering the bag, Nicole's mouth was found to have been duct taped, along with a scarf tied around her neck, and under the scarf was a electrical cord. So, first on scene when Nicole's body was found was Kevin Dowden. He was the investigator from the Newton County Prosecutor's Office, along with Detective Rowe from the Indiana Sheriff's Department, Sergeant Wilson with the Sheriff's Department, and the caller, who was Randy Hall, who called in when he found and discovered the body of Nicole. So at this point, the media started sending out the news that a body had been found and the identity of the body had not been discovered. It wasn't until the next day that it was revealed who the body belonged to, and that it was Nicole Bowen, and that she had been murdered by asphyxiation due to ligatures. Later that week, there were multiple names that were given in this investigation, that people were being arrested and being held and ultimately charged with the involvement of the murder of Nicole Bowen. It was 21-year-old Garrett Kurtz from Lebanon, Indiana, Ashley Garth, 26, of Delphi, Indiana, Jasmine Parker, 34, of Kentland, Indiana, Chris Mathis, 27, of Kentland, Indiana, and last to be arrested was Talitha Beckley, 30, of Monticello, Indiana. Now, this murder occurred at the home of Jasmine Parker. It was located at 2750 West 1400 Kentland, Indiana. It was a small trailer, and inside the trailer at the time of Nicole's murder was Ashley Garth, Talitha Beckley, Jasmine herself, and Garrett Kurtz. Now, When I became involved in this case and doing research in this case, one of the main reasons that got me involved was the fact that I could not understand how there were four people in the trailer at the time of Nicole's death, and two of them, one being the owner of the trailer, had nothing to offer in regards to what transpired. They saw nothing, they heard nothing, and gave several different accounts that didn't really add up or make sense. And then you're left with Garrett Kurtz, who, by all accounts, is someone who has a long history of being aggressive and violent. And I don't feel that throughout the course of this investigation, that was emphasized enough, when there was plenty on record that any investigator, whether it be in Kentland, Newton County, and later down the road, we're going to deal with White County in another case, that all of this information was readily at hand, but yet never really exposed to the extent that I feel that it should have been. And based on all the individuals' accounts, I feel we were all left with not knowing exactly what transpired in the days and nights leading up to March 29th, when Nicole lost her life, and who actually did what. So I've taken it upon myself to reach out to the one individual who ultimately was destroyed in the media, who never really spoke out in defense of herself. And I took it upon myself to reach out to Ashley Garth, who is currently in prison in the Indiana Women's Prison in Plainfield, Indiana, who was charged, convicted, and is now serving a 48-year sentence for conspiracy to commit murder and murder. So I reached out to Ashley just with the pretense of, I want to know more. I want to know how this happened. What in God's name would a girl, what would she do to deserve to ever be murdered in such a way, or murdered at all to begin with? And I really have, I really can't even put into words what I have discovered since reaching out to Ashley, and what I expected and what I actually found. It's been very eye-opening as to what the media, social media, and false information can really do to a community and to families who have lost a loved one, who are given a narrative that may or may not really fit the actual facts of the case. Even after sitting through a courtroom in a trial where you're listening to the case be told, and you feel that, you know, you're getting the honest to God truth and the facts. We all know that there are people who are incarcerated for different reasons that cry out that they've been wrongfully convicted. And not only is Ashley crying out that she's been wrongfully convicted, but her story, from what I've uncovered from day one, has never changed. And her details and her accounts of events, for what I can tell, throughout the course of her trial, throughout interviews and YouTube interviews done by Garrett, her story has really never been told. And I'm not here to convince you. I'm here simply to tell her story. And I have been in contact with her family, her family 100% believes in her innocence. Her family witnessed a lot of the domestic violence that transpired prior to this event of Nicole being killed. And Ashley's her personality was never, I feel, correctly portrayed in the media. She always was thrown into this bad girl club group narrative that everyone simply never questioned. There wasn't a lot of looking into Ashley as far as what type of person she really was. Yes, Ashley was involved with drugs. She was an admitted drug addict. She takes responsibility for that. She takes responsibility for decisions that were made regarding her relationship with Garrett. But when you are in a domestic abusive relationship, sometimes things are easier said than done. And I know that personally firsthand because I lost my sister back in 2007 to a domestic violence situation that resulted in her death. So that is also another reason why I have felt the need to speak on Ashley's behalf and tell her story and go into the ins and outs of an investigation that is quite uh, mind boggling to me. It's not shocking. I have, for many years, covered other cases where I felt that I was advocating for the actual victim in a tragic murder or advocating for an individual that I felt was wrongfully convicted. So I'm going to cover all of it throughout the series in the following episodes. I'm not technically savvy. I do know my way around a computer, but for now, I'm going to do some episodes where I'm just recording so I can read through my notes and I can not have to worry about the on-screen haggling and sharing my screen. I'll get to that down the road. I expect there to be many more episodes where I get more savvy with uploading documents and things of that nature. But for now, we're going to start with the murder of Nicole, which took place on March 29th, again in Jasmine Parker's trailer. I've gone over the 5 individuals, their names, their ages, and where they were from. And I want to start with some of the questions that I feel we all never got answers to. And that is, how did all 5 of these people know each other? Did they know each other? How they all played an intricate part in how the events of this evening unfolded. And who was involved with the actual murder of Nicole Bowen and why? What was the motive? And the motive throughout the mainstream media and social media, I believe, up to the actual conviction of Ashley Garth and the plea deal taken by Garrett Kurtz, was that this was a love triangle gone wrong. Did Ashley and Garrett plan ahead of time to do this to Nicole? Well, we're going to find out over the course of the series that I'm going to do. And I'm going to also talk about the fact that there are other people that were involved in this day that never even made it into the courtroom as a witness, and furthermore was never really investigated. Why that was allowed to happen, how it happened, I have yet to get to the answer in the bottom of that, but maybe together throughout the course of this series, we can do that together. I have documents that I have obtained I have information that I feel was never made public through depositions, police interviews, um, email correspondence between Ashley and her attorney. I have been in contact with Ashley's original attorney. I have been in contact with Ashley's current public defender, who will be handling her post conviction relief case. So, with that being said, I'm not reporting information haphazardly. I'm coming to you with the information that I have in front of me. I have the interviews that were taken the first week of April. Um, they're not in my hand as of yet, but they have been approved by Detective Rowe. They've been paid for. So they will be coming any day now. And those are the police interviews of Garrett, Ashley, Talitha Beckley, Jasmine Parker, along with photos. And I have more on the way. I will get into that much later, but right now we're going to take this piece by piece, and we're going to dive in over the course of the next several months. And I hope that throughout the course of these series, you are actually going to hear from Ashley herself. You will actually, hopefully, hear from her family members, how this also has destroyed their life. And I also want everyone to understand that this series by no means is to take away any of the pain, the hurt, the tragic events that were done to Nicole Bowen. This is simply to shed light on the whole entire situation as a whole, and how I feel that because of the narrative and the media coverage and how all of this transpired, how it is possible that people are wrongfully convicted, and it's easier to do it to someone who doesn't know how to defend themselves or have the money for a high-powered attorney, for things to be swept under the rug, and how a public defender who's not experienced can be the downfall of an individual that didn't do some things in a situation and does not have a voice. You may not agree, and you don't have to agree. I'm just here to tell the story and discuss what I have uncovered, and to also convey to you Ashley's version of events and what she wants the public to know. So I hope that over the next several weeks, months, you will subscribe and like and share this as we get into further details of the case. I don't want to throw all of it in all at once. I want to take it piece by piece and step by step and go in depth and give the details that I feel that the public was lacking when all of this transpired. And now that Ashley has gone through some therapy and has gone through different courses to help her regain her confidence and get her mental health back in order, because I feel Ashley has been, she was very beaten down through the relationship with Garrett and the public humiliation that she went through for being in this trailer at that particular night. I think when the story is completely told, you will understand where she felt she did not have a voice. So, excuse me. So we will end it with that. This is episode 1, just getting out the main details of the case that we're going to start with. And I hope that you will like, subscribe, leave your questions or comments, And I hope that we can all be rational adults and cover this case in depth together. I will also be posting links um, to the upcoming episodes that I will be doing on foul play. And I hope that you will follow along on that channel as well. Foul Play is a advocate for the wrongful conviction of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey out of the state of Wisconsin. Um, I also hopefully will be sharing links to Just Rhonda's YouTube channel, who also is an advocate for the wrongful conviction of Daniel Hartzclaw, and that's out of Oklahoma. So until next time, thanks for listening, and I will see you in episode 2.